Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Jasmine Sandler, and I run Warrior Women in Business, and I'm really, really thrilled about today's guest. This is podcast episode number 77. And for those of you, and that is my lucky number, and I'm going to get into that today. For those of you that are new to Warrior Women in Business, or if you've been a member and attendee, we've been evolving so quickly and so many great things that are actually going on right now. So I'd like to give a little bit of a background to Warrior Women and what our intention is as a movement for women and the plethora of things that we have coming up. And then I want to dive deep in with Linda Fisk today, who's giving us her time and energy to really share with us all the great things that she's doing, has done. I mean, she is, to me, a true Warrior Women in Business. So, again, my name is Jasmine Sandler, and I lead Warrior Women in Business. Warrior Women in Business started in 2017, actually, as a subset of my main business, JS Media, which is a thought leadership company. And the reason I started it, it actually came to me. It wasn't really intentional, which is interesting. I just noticed as a speaker for women in business, primarily around executive branding, that women needed help and they needed some way to collaborate and come together in a way that truly drives economic development. So for me personally, I started as a tool and a platform for organizations like Linda's and other women's organizations to actually collaborate and not compete. To me, that's really, really important. And then as hopefully subsequence of that is to drive measurable results in the economic development of not only women in business but women in the arts. So Warrior Women, we offer programs, marketing and branding programs, speaking opportunities, events, a lot of opportunities through Warrior Women and our partners for women in business and women in the arts to come together and be seen, heard, and most importantly, drive success in their careers and business. And that's why I'm so thrilled to have Linda on. She's definitely somebody I look up to, and I think she's going to share some amazing wisdom. With that being said, a couple like housekeeping things, just some things I want to share, announcements, because it seems like I have a new event that I'm coordinating every single day at this point. Just want to let everybody know what we have coming up at Warrior Women. So I'm just going to run through that, and then I'm going to why I asked Linda to be on, a little bit about her bio and some questions. So June 18th is a really exciting day. So first of all, I am really, truly honored to be asked by Linda to speak and lead a workshop, which is on Zoom for LeadHERship Global. And we'll be talking all about LeadHERship Global today and how you can get involved with this amazing organization. But I'll be speaking there particularly around actionable steps for speakers and executives that are speakers that are looking to leverage their personal executive brands to drive qualified speaking engagements. So that's going to be in the morning, and that's Zoom. And all of the things that we mentioned today, we will be shared in the show notes, and we'll email everyone and put it in social. And then in the evening, we are hosting an event in Chelsea, the Arts Center of New York City. We're hosting a world famous artist who has a movement called Women in Light. It's actually very cool. So she takes photographs and then does paint overs of very famous yet silent women around the world. So she's showing 100 works of her art, and then the Warrior Women Entertainment Collective is performing, including yours truly. It's more of like a jazz night. It's going to be really fun. It's going to be cool. And, you should come. So that's June 18th in the evening if you're in New York City. June 22nd, I just found out yesterday. I've been talking with my partner. If you're a member of Warrior Women Business, you know Women of Culture. This is one of our closest partners. So we co-host quite a bit of events in arts and culture here in New York City, and we're doing things in London and LA coming up. On June 22nd, we are co-hosting with Tory Burch a private shopping event, which I'm really excited about. It's something I've wanted to make happen for a long time. Women of Culture is leading this, and that is also going to be on the website. July 13th in the evening, Monday evening, we recently partnered with Aisha New York. If you're in New York, you probably know her. She's a top fashion designer, and because we work with a lot of women executives, and she does, we've come together and we're curating a Warrior Women collection for Aisha New York, and we're doing a private event July 13th. That's a Monday evening. The last thing I want to mention is July 22nd is our first international event. I am the board director for the Arts and Culture Network in New York, which is based out of London. So July 22nd, if anybody listening is going to be in London or lives in London, This is a free event. We're hosting it. It's free. You can come and have cocktails, and it's just a mixer at the Royal Art Society in London the evening of July 22nd. So, a lot going on with Warrior Women in Business, and a lot of, fun and interesting things. And to me, that's one of my missions with Warrior Women is to do things that help women drive their business forward, but also that they enjoy and make friends along the entire process. So that's my mission. Okay. So now let's get into Linda, because I've rambled on. Okay. So I can't tell you guys how excited I am. I mean, I met Linda in Dallas, and she just struck me as a woman. I don't know if you're going to blush, but who really has it together. Like she's just someone that has it together, and she just moves forward in a way that to me is very graceful yet powerful. And I think this is what we strive for. So we've been chatting for a while about how we might work together. And I wanted to the first thing I want to do is introduce her to my audience, and give you an opportunity to learn from her and connect with her. So Linda is a multi-award winning CEO, keynote speaker, podcast host, TEDx speaker, TV producer, 6-time best-selling author, and university professor dedicated to amplifying and extending the success of other high caliber leaders. As the chairwoman of LeadHERship Global, which we're going to talk about today, LeadHERship Global, that's important, right? Linda supports and guides ambitious, creative women, and I put myself in that category, to move in the direction of their purpose, which, there's so many obstacles that get in the way of our purpose. So I'm really excited to talk about this today. Their mission and their dream with powerful connections, critical support, practical tools, and valuable resources to show up, speak up, and step up in their careers and personal lives. It's very powerful. And she has thousands of members that she's enlightened and continues to do just amazing things. So all of that being said, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time out, Linda. I can imagine how busy you are.
Jasmine, it is such a pleasure to be with you, and I'm so honored to be a part of this podcast. Let me just say that your itinerary over the next 2 or 3 months is nothing less than jaw-dropping. I mean, that is an amazing array of events, opportunities, privileges, benefits that you're offering Warrior Women. I mean, are you kidding me? Those are some incredibly bespoke events that you've curated and facilitated. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I always say with the events, for me, it's when they're over. When they're over and I can see what happens, because the prep is it's like 1,000 arrows being shot at you at the same time. But I just see, to kind of highlight the importance of women supporting women.
Yes.
When women come together, these events are just glorious.
Right.
And it's not me. I always say this isn't me. It's I'm just like the person that's leading the way, but it really just takes everybody to make it happen. So, but thank you. I really appreciate that. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the questions. So I reviewed your background, and it's like you're such a fast-moving target. So you have your background plus all the things that you're doing now and in the future. So you have an incredible background in healthcare, and I've done a lot of work in healthcare. So to me, that kind of blew me away. Your success in healthcare, I know most of my clients are actually in health tech and healthcare. So I know that that's a vast field. It definitely takes a directive type of person, and someone that is a role model and a leader and looks to others. So, you have this impressive background, but equally impressive present and forward from all the things that you're doing with LeadHERship Global, with Curve Up, which you're going to talk about today. So I would love personally, and for my audience, for you to talk about, the steps you took, through this process, why you took them, and maybe talk about like some mentors along the way and some examples would be wonderful.
Absolutely. Jasmine, looking back now, I can see that the challenges I faced throughout my career have actually been the launch pad for my biggest successes. And they've really helped teach me the power of perseverance, of tenacity, of steadfastness, and combining that with forgiveness, kindness, and grace. I will tell you, throughout my career, I've had the privilege and honor of working with some remarkably powerful leaders, some remarkably successful leaders. And I will tell you that of all the happiest, most successful people I've been able to work with over the years, they all had one thing in common. They found a way to contribute value to the world, and they are rewarded very well for their efforts. So think about that for a minute. The seeds
am.
of your success
Yeah.
are tucked away in a very surprising place. It's in your greatest interests, your greatest passions. And of course, simply following your passion isn't enough. You have to find a way to make your passions actually lucrative, make them pay so that you can have revenue, so you can have income, so that you can use that funding in ways that really feed your soul. And that means finding a way to use your interests and talents to contribute value to the world. And in my mind, this can be done in a number of ways. But the one, I think, guiding light in my career has been always focusing on what I love to do. In order to have an abundant life, you need to figure out what it is you love doing. Many times we try to do something that maybe other people are doing because they're successful. Oh, I see this influencer and they're talking about, I don't know, gardening. So I need to be an influencer that talks about gardening. And I will tell you, the more you align with what you love doing, the more abundance you're going to attract in your life. And the second big key, I would say, is appreciate what you do have. A very simple step to identifying your own personal passion pursuits is to start recognizing what you love in your life right now. Take the time to appreciate everything you have in your life. Maybe you have great health. Maybe you have people surrounding you that you love. Maybe it's your colleagues. Maybe you're developing a skill and you're excited about that. Maybe it's just the simple beauty of nature that surrounds you every day. But you need to find something in your life that brings you abundant joy. You will find yourself realizing how truly blessed you are and how abundant your life is. And what you need is right there in front of you. You just haven't recognized it. And the third big lesson I would say that I've learned through my career is accept and let go. The opposite of abundant life is scarcity. And in order to move yourself from a space of not enough to I have everything I need, you need to accept that sometimes you don't have exactly what you want in that moment, but I guarantee you have what you need. So what I've learned is to simply accept and let go. You need to let go of any kind of destructive thinking patterns and instead give your energy to create what you want. When you realize that you don't have something, simply rephrase or reframe that state to being what you do have and what you're looking forward to receiving in the future.
I'm pausing because I want everybody to absorb that. I think and think about it because that was such excellent advice and very important advice and much bigger than just general business advice. So I think it's so important. I completely agree on I'm doing it. So I completely agree. And I'm doing it, but it's very difficult. It's not so easy. So I love that you talked about it. And I think people need to remind themselves of those things every day as they move forward because it can be very hard with, not appreciating what you have and not making the decisions to embrace what you're passionate about because of scarcity.
Absolutely, Jasmine.
Yes, I live it. So
and abundance doesn't happen overnight.
No
most
way.
people who live a truly abundant, happy, balanced life will tell you they work at it every day. On a daily basis, they're accomplishing very small actions that align them with what they want in their life. So if you want more money, every single day you can make a small deposit in a savings account. $5 a day will become $150 at the end of the month and $1,800 at the end of the year. If on the other hand, you want more love in your life, well, let's start with self-love. Every day, make a point of recognizing one thing you love about yourself. I think one of the most common misperceptions about wealth, abundance, success is that achieving some sort of monetary goal will make you happy. And I will tell you, happiness is a state of mind.
Absolutely.
Jasmine, I know you can recall, and in your circle, you run around with a lot of wealthy people who are probably just unhappy with their lives. And just off the top of
True.
your head, you can probably recite the names of a half a dozen celebrities who are constantly struggling with addiction, relationship turmoil, legal problems, and worse. Money didn't make these people happy. And it can't make you happy either. If you want to be happy, then you have to decide to be happy now, regardless of your problems and challenges. Having a ton of money, no matter what, won't make those problems go away unless they're, of course, related to a lack of money. But that doesn't even guarantee you happiness. The greatest power you can ever develop is the ability to focus on the good so that you can be happy right now, no matter what else is happening around you.
Yeah, I listen to a ton of audiobooks and podcasts. So, the Viktor Frankl book, I just started listening to it again. I think I listened to that in high school, to be honest with you. But,
Yeah.
everybody goes through challenges, and when you reflect on something like that, then your challenges might diminish, and then you can find happiness, so. But I think it's so important. Okay, let's talk about Leadership Global, and thank you for sharing that. So talk about who it serves, how long has it been around, and kind of visualize what Leadership Global does for us.
I love that. Thank you so much, Jasmine. So, LeadHERship Global is a community where women of extraordinary accomplishment come together for the kind of growth that transcends titles, right? It's a private, curated community that's committed to purpose, profit, and personal legacy. That's really the three cores of LeadHERship Global. And we just don't promise access, we promise transformation. At LeadHERship Global, every single aspect of our membership is designed to elevate your leadership, expand your visibility, accelerate your business success, and ensure that you never lead alone. So we
I think that's the
transfer.
most important one.
Yes,
On this
absolutely.
podcast, I have talked to a lot of major female leaders, including yourself, and this is a thing that we talk about a lot. It is very hard to lead alone. So I love that solution. Tell us more.
No, that's so right. And I hear the same thing from members of LeadHERship Global that it's very lonely as an entrepreneur and as
So
a
lonely.
leader of an entrepreneurial company, business, organization. You're facing really challenging decisions every hour of every day, and it's
Yep,
exhausting and
it
it's lonely.
is.
So,
Yeah.
what we try to do is transform women in leadership from the inside out, not with formulas, but with frameworks that they can lean into, not with hustle, but with alignment to ensure that their vision, their mission, their goals, and their work are all aligned. Because the world doesn't need more busy women. It needs more
Definitely
values
doesn't.
driven leaders
That's
that are
right.
recognized and that are remembered. And we're to help women do just that, be recognized and remembered. So the way I think of LeadHERship Global, I think of it as not just another network. Listen, there are a hundred
Oh my
thousand
God, so many now.
women's networks all
So
over the
many.
US.
So many.
This is really a trusted circle of women leaders. These are founders, executives, entrepreneurs, visionaries who believe that success is more than status. Leadership is really about impact. So here you'll find the kind of high caliber relationships, the expert insights, the personalized support that every single woman in leadership needs to elevate every single dimension of their leadership journey. And that's one of the reasons we're so excited to partner with you, Jasmine, because you actually solve one of the biggest problems that women face, which is being seen and heard, being able to shape their narrative and step onto the biggest stages in front of the biggest microphones and tell their story with conviction, with power, and with purpose.
Yeah. It's so, so important. And it all comes together. Okay, I mean, I love it. I mean, I'm so excited about us working together and supporting women. And it's so funny that you're talking about networking groups because I was the former president of NABO, and for New York, not the whole national. And what I saw there was, you know what? There's too many silos, and that's what it really bothered me, like badly. I couldn't sleep at night. I'm like, this is horrible. How are we going to move forward? So I loved that you talked about the importance of the women supporting each other and giving women the opportunities, but also the grace and framework to be able to move forward because it seems like that is the solution. So thank you. Okay, so let's talk about how, like maybe on a daily basis, Leadership Global, or you could give an example, provides support to a member. Just share a little bit.
Yeah. You know, I think unlike mass market communities, we are intentionally designed to foster really deep, trusted relationships with this highly curated circle of accomplished women peers. So you're not entering a community where you have to kind of forge those relationships on your own or find a way of breaking into an already existing circle or feel like you're out of the flow of conversation. We help you foster very deep, trusted relationships with other women. And we don't believe in waiting lists, closed doors, very narrow
Yeah, oh
definitions of
gosh.
success, right?
Yes,
Our
I understand what you're
members,
talking about.
yes. And our
Unfortunately, I
members,
do, but go ahead. Yeah. Sorry.
well, and exactly, especially in New York, you know
In New
all
York,
about.
it's like kind of nuts, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So the members of LeadHERship Global reflect really diverse industries, backgrounds, stages of leadership, from corporate executives to entrepreneurs, board members, nonprofit founders. But every single member receives customized support that's aligned to her vision. You know, some women just want to write a book. Others want to stand on stages. Some want to ignite a speaking career. Some
Right.
want to add 2 or 3 zeros to their income. So we make sure we really understand how each and every woman defines success. And then they get access to executive coaching, confidential advisory groups, targeted
Okay.
introductions. We help them with board preparation, personal brand amplification, which is, you know, something you'll be helping with, Jasmine. And so we try to blend business mastery with personal well-being, with spiritual alignment, with truly legacy building. We're trying to create a space for growth, both professionally and personally, and all in alignment with that particular woman's purpose.
It's wonderful. And it's about time.
Yeah.
It's about time. Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit. I know you mentioned to me that you're the newly appointed president of Curve Up. So first of
Yes.
all, congratulations.
Thank
Like you
you.
say, I run events. I look at your resume and I'm like, how is she doing all of this? So I think that's what we do as leaders, right? So
Yes.
let's talk about what it is, the mission, and why somebody would get involved with it. A little bit about
Yeah.
Curve. Yeah.
Curve Up is an AI powered ecosystem. It's kind
Mhm.
of an intelligent co pilot for entrepreneurs and business builders.
Very
So
cool.
you don't have to lead alone anymore. You literally have an intelligent co pilot that can help you with every single decision that you're facing in your business. It's designed to help entrepreneurs see more clearly, connect more meaningfully, and move forward with more confidence. And when I say intelligent co pilot, I don't mean that Curve Up actually replaces the entrepreneur, not at all. Entrepreneurs are still the visionaries, they're still the
Absolutely.
decision makers, they're still the ones carrying the courage, the creativity, the responsibility
That's right.
of building something really meaningful. Curve Up is not AI in isolation. The entrepreneur remains central. The entrepreneur brings the lived reality of the business, right? So the customer conversations, the market pressure, the timing, the opportunity, the risk, the judgment. And Curve Up
Mm,
itself is being built and managed with expert input. So human experience
I
actually helps
see.
shape the system
That's
and
great.
guide the recommendations so that they remain practical,
Mm,
appropriate, and grounded in real business needs. So Curve Up helps entrepreneurs really understand where they are now, what matters most right now, what support is going to be needed in their next step, and where they may have possible gaps or risks,
mhm.
and who to close those gaps and limit the risk, who may be able to help, what actions may make sense. So it's a forward-looking, almost like, as I said, intelligent co-pilot that's looking 3 months, 6 months, a year ahead and saying, hey, get ready. There's going to be a twist in the road. There's going to be a turn coming up. Don't forget to slow down over that hill. So there is a lot of incredible insight, expert insight that's built into this platform. It provides kind of a personalized hub with guided next steps and helps you with readiness, access to trusted experts and services. It provides really practical tools, of course, community, and a way to move from knowing what to do next to actually doing it. And because entrepreneurs are not all in the same place, CurveUp offers different membership paths as well.
Okay. So I got to say it's so needed. I've been an advisor on countless entrepreneurial universities, programs, countless. And
Yes.
the thing that I've always seen is there's this, it's hard to take the entrepreneur from step 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 for
Exactly.
continuity. So you know what I mean? And I think Curve Up sounds like it supports that, which is truly important because, well, I forget the stats, but they always say, "Oh, you're still in business." My business is 20 years old. So they say you're still in business. Most businesses fail after 3, 5, and
Yeah.
it's
In
consistency. It
fact,
is.
only 1 in 10 businesses ever truly scale, and
Mm,
60% of entrepreneurial adventures don't make it to their 5th year of business. So, what you've created, Jasmine, really is extraordinary. But
mm,
what we're trying to do is really increase the success rate of entrepreneurs and specifically women entrepreneurs around the
right.
world. We really want to give women access to funding, expertise, guidance, decision making that they need to create a scalable business that lives beyond their lifetime.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely amazing. And again, in the show notes after this, for everyone that's watching and listening now or in the future, we're going to share the links so that you can learn more about all of these items. Okay. So now let's talk a little bit about warrior women in business. When you heard the term, you know, what came to mind? What do you think purpose it serves if you didn't know anything about it, or what was your perception?
Yeah, I think warrior women, that term is very, it ignites a feeling, it creates an image, it evokes emotion. And for me, that emotion, that vision is all about women stepping into their power. And I think what it really evokes for me is this idea of creating global relationships with personal intimacy to help me step into my power. It's really about helping women understand that no matter what their fight is, whether it's a healthcare crisis, it's a business development issue, it's about growing and scaling their own entrepreneurial venture, no matter what it is, or maybe it's a creative passion pursuit, that literally this community comes alongside them to support them, to ignite that same sort of fearlessness in them that their community that supports them feels about them, right? So sometimes I feel like the very best way for you to see your true impact is for other people to reflect to you the impact that you're creating in their lives. And so, what I think of as warrior women's is this tribe of women that are deeply invested in each other's success, that are reflecting back to each member the power that they embody and the vision and mission that they've been given to create real impact in the world. And to me, that evokes courage, bravery,
Yeah.
perseverance, tenacity. And I love that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. It was probably the most detailed answer I've heard from all the podcast guests and truly inspiring to me. So thank you. I mean, really,
Welcome.
it's interesting to me personally when I don't even really ask. Sometimes I have friends, we have a Warrior Women Coaches program as well, where we have coaches come in and they speak on stage with us. And so I've had a few of the coaches come to our events from long distances or call me or whatever, and they'll say, you're really helping and inspiring me to get out of my shell and move forward. And I don't think about it that way, because I'm so mission driven, and I feel the same about all these other women in my circle.
Yeah,
So I love that you said that. And I think that we can all do this for each other. We can light the way. So, you know,
absolutely.
I think it's wonderful. Okay. All right, let's talk about just a couple of really two or three, whatever you're comfortable with, actionable bits of advice for female entrepreneurs moving forward, regardless of where they are in their business. Just, some things that you've seen at Leadership Global with, women that have been maybe stuck somewhere, or maybe they had some doubts about making a decision to move forward. Anything actionable you could provide.
I love that. Number one, top of my list, something that I repeat in every single private or public forum where someone is asking for advice. Number one, develop your self confidence. Self
Okay.
confidence is linked to almost every single element involved in a happy and fulfilling life. In fact, self confidence is a better predictor of future success than EQ or IQ. So it doesn't matter how intelligent you are or how good you are with people. If you don't believe in yourself, that is going to limit your ability to be successful. Literally, self confidence is linked to almost every single part of a happy and fulfilling life. And I will tell you, compared with men, women don't consider themselves
Oh,
confident,
of
right?
course. Oh my
Right?
God. Of course.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, I'm
Women
very
don't.
adamant about that.
I
But yes.
know. And it breaks my heart. Women don't
Me
consider
too.
themselves ready for promotions. They
Yep.
predict they'll do worse on tests. They
Oh,
generally
that's interesting.
underestimate their considerable abilities. And let me just say that confidence gives you the skills and coping methods to handle setbacks, to handle failure. Self confidence doesn't mean you won't sometimes fail. Of course you will. But you'll know you can handle the challenges and not be crippled by them. Even when things don't turn out anywhere close to what you planned, you'll be
Yes.
able to avoid beating yourself up. So that is my number one recommendation. And Jasmine, it sounds like you agree.
No, but I have a question about that. So,
Yeah.
of course, because as entrepreneurs, we have lofty goals. We're visionaries, and we are a lot of A-type personalities, and perfectionists. And so, I agree with you 1,000% that success comes from confidence. But if you have a problem with confidence, if you are that type of person and you're moving forwards and things don't work out, do you lean more into the logical side, or is it more mindfulness?
I think it's a reframing. So
Okay.
listen, failure is a common human experience. There's no way to avoid failure unless you literally do nothing in your life, like literally do
Live in a
nothing.
bubble and do nothing, right?
Yeah. And so I would suggest a reframing rather than seeing a failure as something that is humbling, shameful, something you have guilt about. I would suggest you reframe that to say it was just my first attempt in learning. My
Oh.
fail was just my first attempt in learning.
Mm,
And so, in fact, we're all on a learning journey.
we
We're
are.
all on a journey to continue to improve. And if you adopt more of a growth mindset that suggests that right out of
Yeah.
the gate, I'm probably not going to do very well, and that's okay. But
Yeah.
over time, I'm going to improve. And over time, with experience and expertise, I'm going to get better and better and better. I have the capability of growing. I
That is
have the
so true.
capability of improving. I have the capability of advancing. Now, even along that journey, am I going to be perfect? No, we all make mistakes. And it's about having the grace to accept that and say, I'll do better later. So I really think that
I love this.
confidence gives you the opportunity to handle challenges and not be crippled by them. And when you really begin seeing the possibility of failure, which often serves as a literally game stop for a lot of people. They won't even move forward with
I've
anything
seen
if they
it.
think
I've
there's
seen
a
that, right?
risk of failure.
Yeah, I've
It
seen it.
absolutely keeps them dead set in their tracks. They will not
Yeah,
take another
it's
step forward.
terrible.
What
Yeah.
I would suggest is say to yourself, reframe that and say, yes, it's really possible I might fail at this, but I'm going to learn a lot along the way, and that's worth it. And that's really what I suggest. Now, the other thing that I really recommend to everyone is to build a power tribe around you. Now,
Yes.
what I have
Sorry,
learned,
but that is so important.
yes,
That's
it
right.
is, Jasmine, right? This
Yeah.
is why we immediately hit it off when we met, is that there is so many underlying principles and practices that we've both adopted to fuel our success. And this is one that's really key to me. Build a power tribe around you. Now, listen, what I've heard from most leaders in LeadHERship Global is that they don't feel like they have a safe environment where they can share their concerns.
Wow,
Most
that's so
C-suite
true.
executives often feel like any kind of public show of vulnerability or
Right?
uncertainty
Oh my gosh.
introduces risk, maybe
I
risk
I
of,
I have to stop you. I
yeah,
literally was talking to my mentor about this yesterday.
really?
Literally the conversation.
Wow.
Exactly this.
Yep.
Anyway, so I'm kind of dumbfounded right now because this is and I never talk about this, but I talked about this yesterday. I was very open
Yeah.
and it
And
was
let me just say,
excellent.
it's so
Mm,
important to find a close, connected circle where you can be vulnerable, where you can be open, you can be transparent. And
yeah,
what I hear from women all around the world is that there is a fear that any kind of public show of
of course.
vulnerability or even uncertainty introduces risk. And that risk could
Of
be
course.
losing the confidence or the
Of course.
respect of their board of directors,
Yeah.
their employees, their
Yeah.
customers.
Yeah.
So being in a community of other leaders where you feel safe allows you to have an outlet to continuously learn and improve in a confidential setting and get exposure to new ways of approaching problems and issues, right? You're hearing from
Yeah.
other leaders where they said, oh, I hit that exact issue last year, and here's how I solved for it. Oh, I went through that same experience, and here was the best solution. You're going to learn new ways of leveraging opportunities as well as new ways of solving the issues that are right in front of you. And importantly, this kind of safe, supportive kind of environment allows the members of that community to develop friendships and develop networks with
Yes.
other CEOs that can
Yes.
enrich your life both professionally as well as personally. And for women, those things are not siloed. Our lives are
Exactly.
intertwined,
We're
right?
very, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
And I think
choosing
women
a
do business so
leadership,
differently in relationship development than men. Am I right? It's
yes.
like unbelievable difference.
Absolutely. You said
Mm,
it so well, Jasmine. So
mm.
choosing a leadership community that supports your unique purpose, well, we all know it can improve the growth and profitability of your organization because you benefit from the hard-won lessons and the experiences of other leaders. And
Mhm.
members of these communities also have access to the very best practices on key issues. They
Yeah.
can receive honest feedback and advice from peers who have no conflict of interest, and they can collaborate with other leaders to work on the business, not just in the business.
Yes.
And so I
Amen.
have to tell you, that
Right.
is so incredibly critical for women to have a close, confidential power tribe, as well as a larger network of women that they can rely on.
Right. I mean, that to me, that's what this podcast started as. This podcast started as I had a handful of female executives that, I was managing their personal brands. And I felt that they were very alone and they needed a voice and they needed to connect with other leaders and they needed to be able to tell their stories, yes, but also the connection is what becomes missing many times. So, yes, I love this, and I couldn't agree more that it's so important and to do it in an authentic way and to really do it in a way that supports the way that women do business. Is
Yeah, that's right.
yeah. Okay, good. Okay, so let's talk about what's important to you today besides Leadership Global and Curve Up, obviously. Anything else that that's really important to you, a specific goal outside of these things?
I will tell you that both of those initiatives are born out of my passion, what's important to me 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and today. And that is making sure that women have equal access to the privileges, benefits, and opportunities that men typically do.
I love it.
Women only occupy less than 10%
Yeah,
of
of
board
the
director
right
roles around the
roles.
globe. They have less than 10% of the speaking opportunities on
Right.
stages around the world. They are given less than 2% of the VC funding that's available. Literally, out of the billions of dollars
I
that
know it
VCs
kill that
award.
that kills me because I have friends in the female friends in the VC world, and that kills me. So sorry. Yeah.
No, it's true. And so there are so many different obstacles and challenges that women face. They face cultural, socioeconomic, political obstacles, roadblocks, and challenges that men typically don't. And so my vision, mission, and passion is to try to do my part to level the playing field for women in politics, in boardrooms, in business, on stages, in front of the media.
Yeah. I love it. I mean, I feel like it's very aligned with my mission is
Yes.
economic empowerment of women, because there's so many things that women can't do if they're not financially empowered
Right.
at all, so I love this. And you are doing it, it's that's what also I love. You're actually doing it, and you're also doing it for the future with future tools, so
Yeah,
it's
that's the reason why I seek out experts like you to serve the women of LeadHERship Global to help them step into their power and their purpose with confidence, with a sense of boldness because they're owning who they are.
yeah, and we should.
Yeah.
We have to. Okay. I know that pre-show we talked about some of your events as potential resources for women to take advantage of from LeadHERship Global. So you can share a little bit about your events and your resources.
Sure. I'm sure in the show notes you'll include the link.
I
But
will.
if
Yeah.
you want to check out the audience listening in, if you want to check out the events that you're warmly welcome to attend with no fee, meaning any cost is waived for you, go to leadhershipglobal.com/events. Just literally leadhershipglobal.com/events, and you'll see all of our upcoming events that are available to any and every warrior woman out
Love
there
it.
with no cost. So the very first one is next week. It's at 11 o'clock Central, 12 p.m. Eastern. It's called Level Up Your Leadership, Mastering the Moment of Truth with Brenda Siri. It's going to be amazing. And the next one is the same week on the 11th at 11 o'clock a.m. And it's called Stop the Revenue Leak, How Founders Use Contracts to Protect Cash Flow, Scope, and
Absolutely.
Leverage. And it's being
Absolutely.
presented by one of our members, Asia Wright, who is an
Oh,
attorney. So she,
her
as
name
an
is familiar.
attorney, is going to be
Mm,
teaching and training
mm.
how to use contracts as a way of protecting your IP
So
and
important.
ensuring that your revenue is maximized, that there's not revenue leak. The only other one that I would talk about is coming up on the 18th of June, and that is how to win qualified speaking engagements by leveraging your executive brand with the one and only Jasmine Sandler. I tell you, ladies, if you have not spent time with Jasmine, you should because she is a true expert and really, I think, going to provide so much value. Listen, every leader that I know who has embraced her power is looking for those qualified speaking engagements that allow her to tell her story with passion, with conviction, with motivation. And this is going to be literally such an important masterclass to learn how to do that.
Thank you. I'm really excited actually to deliver. I was thinking about it this morning because I'm such a future thinker. I was like, "Oh, the podcast, yeah, it's going to be fun, but I can't wait for the workshop." So, yeah, I love making a difference, and it's what we're supposed to do. So,
Exactly.
thank you for inviting me to do that. I really appreciate it. It's going to be great. Okay, so lastly, you talked about also. I asked all my guests to provide some type of giveaway, and you talked about the leadership assessment diagnostic tool.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about what that is. And again, we'll share this in the show notes, but what is it? What is it and what does it do?
Yeah. So the leadership assessment tool is only about a 15-minute diagnostic, But we firmly believe that understanding yourself as a leader is the very first step to understanding how to drive business success for you. So what we know is that understanding ourselves really deeply, intimately, allows us to have a competitive advantage in the way that we go to market with our products and services, the way that we connect with customers and partners, the way that we show up and stand up for who we are and what we're representing. So understanding yourself as a leader first is the very first step to creating really lasting business success. And so that is really what this assessment is all about.
Oh, like,
I would
okay.
also say that all of us carry blind spots. All of us have blind spots about
Believe
who
me, I
we are
know.
as a leader.
Yeah.
And it takes often like a 360 review or an objective assessment like this to be able to uncover those blind spots so that you can understand where you need to move forward, both leveraging your strengths as well as working on those places that maybe you have a focus of development.
That's so important. This is so important. We're going to put in the show notes, but this is really important. In the executive branding work I do, we always start with this introspection. And I think you have to have it because you can't, well, from what I see, you can't have the clarity.
Right.
And I love that you're doing this. And I love that it's only 15 minutes. I think that
Yeah,
everybody has 15 minutes to
exactly.
improve themselves.
Yes,
So
exactly, exactly.
come on. Okay, so last question. What is the best way, and we'll put it all in the show notes, best way you like to be contacted? Is it your website? What's the best way you personally would like to be
So
contacted?
I am very responsive to email because
Okay.
the people that email me actually know me. So it's Linda at leadhershipglobal.com, leadhership global with an H. So if you want to get in touch with me via email, that's terrific. I'm also very active on LinkedIn. You're welcome to look me up on LinkedIn, either LeadHERship Global or Linda Fisk. If you drop me a note, I'll be sure to respond. Probably not quite as quickly as email, but certainly within the week, I will respond. And really appreciate the opportunity again, Jasmine, to be a part of this dynamic show and to be in partnership with you. So thank you.
You're welcome. I wanted to say thank you for being on and sharing such important advice from not just business, but I think from self-development. And I
Yeah.
know I always say, ever since this is like my third or fourth business. So ever since I've been an entrepreneur, I always say that psychology, philosophy, spirituality, and business have to go together.
Yeah.
So I love that you brought that to the show today. And I think, people need to really rewatch this, chew on it, and take action with the diagnostic tool, with connecting with you with LeadHERship Global, learning about Curve Up. I'm actually personally very excited about that. I can't wait to dive into that. So, I know you brought a lot of important advice to our listeners today. So all with that all being said, the events that Linda mentioned are on the Leadership Global website, and we'll share a link to that. Our events again are fast and furious. So June 18th is a very important day, both with a talk for Leadership Global as well as our event in Chelsea. And I would encourage any women in New York that want to get the feeling of what Warrior Women is about. Why is it different and fun while you're connecting? It's going to be a fun, really cool, interesting event. And if you're into fashion, please consider coming to the other events. But we have a lot of things going on.
Yeah, you do.
And finally, if you're interested in membership, whether you're an artist, because we have a whole membership for artists, we have a whole collective for artists, visual, filmmakers, musicians, or if you're an entrepreneur that's really looking to get connected and level up, contact us. I think you'll see much more between Linda and I in the future. This is not some short-term
Yeah.
podcast interview. This is intended for long-term. I think we equally want to drive impact and support women, right?
Absolutely. Jasmine, again, thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you as well. Okay, so last thing I want to mention, we are signing off from my favorite number, episode 77 today. You can look for future podcasts, the next two podcasts. I'm actually going live in person, which I prefer. Yes, I'm very much an in-person person. With Aisha, New York, in her showroom. That's June 9th at 3 p.m. It's going to be really fun. We're going to be showing some clothes and things. It's going to be really fun. And then on the 17th, I'm meeting with a partner at Baker Holstetter, a very well-known law firm in New York City, and one of their senior partners, who's just an amazing woman on so many levels, Susan Kaiser, and we're going to be talking about what it's like to be a top woman in IP law. So I'm super excited about that episode. All my guests are amazing. I am blessed to have women like Linda on and sharing their time. And I hope that all of you do take this advice to heart and do take action and move your businesses forward. So, with that being said, I am closing out episode 77. If any of you are interested in getting in touch with me personally, I'm all over LinkedIn. I'm a LinkedIn trainer. You can contact me. That's easy. Please check out warriorwomenbusiness.com. If you have any questions, send us in social or wherever is convenient for you. So again, thank you, Linda. I am excited about the 18th. I'm excited about LeadHERship Global, Curve Up, and our future together. So,
I love it. Thank you.
okay, take care.